All right, let's talk about one of the weirdest sequels ever made, Machete Kills. I mean, this movie is pure chaos, but the story of how it even got made, that might be even crazier than the film itself. And trust me, we are going to get into all of it. So you really got to wrap your head around this one idea, because it's the key to the whole thing. See, Machete Kills, it's not just a sequel. Nope. It's a sequel to a movie that was based on a fake trailer that was inside another movie. Yeah, I know. If your head's spinning a little bit, that's kind of the point. This is where it all starts. So how on earth does a joke turn into a real multi-million-dollar film? Well, to get Machete Kills, you have to go back and look at its pretty unique family tree. And it all started with this wild cinematic experiment back in 2007 from directors Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. Okay, so picture this. It's 2007. You go to see this double feature called Grindhouse, and in between the two movies, they play these fake trailers for ridiculous B-movies that don't actually exist. Well, one of those trailers was for a movie called Machete, and people loved it. They loved it so much that in 2010, Rodriguez went ahead and made it into a real feature-length film. And then, get this, just 3 years after that, the fake trailer turned real movie gets its own sequel, a 6-year trip from a throwaway gag to a full-blown franchise. Okay, so if you think the origin story is wild, let's talk about the plot of Machete Kills, because this is where things just go completely off the rails. This is a story that basically looks at logic, laughs, and then floors the gas pedal on total, absolute absurdity. So every single step of Machete's mission is just more insane than the last one. He gets hired by the president? Sure, why not? His mission, hunt a terrorist who has a nuclear missile wired to his own beating heart. If his heart stops, bam, Washington, D.C. is gone. And just when you think, okay, that's as crazy as it gets, you find out the real bad guy's master plan is to just escape to his private space station. And that main villain, Luther Voss, is a total throwback to classic James Bond baddies. The director, Robert Rodriguez, has even said the character was inspired by SpaceX founder Elon Musk. So Voss's plan is to invent some weapons, start a nuclear war to wipe out the planet, and then just rebuild society from his own private space station. I mean, it doesn't get more gloriously over the top than that. Now, a plot this completely unhinged needs a cast that can match its energy. And oh boy, did Machete Kills deliver on that front. The cast is this bizarre, amazing collection of stars that you would never, ever expect to see in the same movie together. I mean, just look at this list. It is delightful chaos. You've got Charlie Sheen playing the President of the United States, and he insisted on being credited by his birth name, Carlos Estevez, just to lean into the whole vibe. Then there's Mel Gibson as that Musk-inspired villain, and making her acting debut, you have Lady Gaga as a deadly assassin. A role that, by the way, earned her a Razzie nomination for Worst Supporting Actress. You just can't script this stuff. And if you need one thing to perfectly capture the anything-goes spirit of this movie, it's the character El Camaleon. He's a shape-shifting assassin. But it's not CGI or anything, no. The character is literally just played by 4 different super famous actors. So 1 minute the hitman is Walton Goggins, the next he's Cuba Gooding Jr., then Lady Gaga, then Antonio Banderas. It's a completely bonkers and kind of brilliant casting gimmick. All right, so you've got this insane premise, this stacked cast. You'd think this movie was a monster hit, right? Well, this is where the story takes a bit of a turn. Let's get into the cold, hard reality of how people actually reacted to all this madness. So let's talk numbers, because they don't lie. The movie cost about $20 million to make, and at the box office worldwide, it only pulled in $17.5 million. So, yeah, it didn't even make its money back. For all that star power, all that insanity, Machete Kills was, a financial flop. And the critics? They weren't much nicer. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, it landed with a big thud. A rotten score, with only 29% of reviews being positive. So what happened? Why didn't all this crazy energy connect with people the second time around? The general feeling from critics really gets to the heart of it. They said the movie loses the first installment's spark in a less deftly assembled sequel. It seems like the joke just wasn't as funny the second time. It felt like it was trying a little too hard to be shocking and lost some of that gritty, surprising charm the first movie had. But hey, the story of Machete Kills doesn't just fizzle out with bad reviews and a poor box office. Oh no. It ends with maybe one of the boldest, most ridiculous promises in modern movie history. And this is where it all comes full circle. It's just perfect. The whole franchise started with a fake trailer inside a movie, right? So how does Machete Kills end? By being bookended with its own fake trailer for its own sequel, Machete Kills Again in space. They just went all in and doubled down on the original joke. And that's, of course, leaves us with the big question that fans have been asking ever since. I mean, the movie bombed, the critics hated it, and it's been over a decade. So is there any chance we will ever actually see this even more ridiculous third movie? So is there any hope? Is this just a pipe dream? Well, as recently as 2023, the director himself, Robert Rodriguez, said this about making that space sequel. "We have to do it and give it to him." So who knows? The completely bonkers story of Machete might not be over after all. Maybe, just maybe, one day he will kill again in space.